Hi, I'm Robin Leach with those champagne wishes and caviar dreams for the Magic Word Podcast.
You know, I asked a professor once, I said, what was the difference between today's generation and the generation he grew up in as a youngster? And it was a very interesting response. He said, today's generation, the methods are far superior. But in his generation, technique and presentation was far superior.
The way I'm looking at it, if I can do this for 40 years and then talk about it for another 20, maybe I've got a career.
So no retirement plans in sight?
I can't spell IRA and I can't count to 401 very well. So, yeah, I'm going to be... my fervent desire, Scott, is that when my ticket comes up, that I'm in the middle of a card trick at a gig that I've been paid in advance for.
So Carl's at a party in Hollywood. Steve Martin comes up to him. Says, Mr. Ballantyne, I don't know if you know this, but I have to say you influenced my work early in my career. And Carl says, hold on! Disneyland, Main Street, 1955. Steve Martin says, yeah. And Carl says, yeah, where's my check?
It's all about relationship building in the corporate world and networking. I mean, it's not about having the greatest show, because you're not competing most of the time with other shows. I very rarely, other than maybe in the college market or maybe for really, really big corporate events, am I competing with, gee, should we have this medalist or that medalist? Mm-hmm. Most of the time what I'm competing with is, should we add another appetizer or should we have an entertainer?
What was the recent movie? What did you just do?
The Walk. It was a Zemeckis movie that's coming out in October.
You're in a Zemeckis movie, and you're crying you're out of a job.
Do you understand the way that works with the big movies, Alan? Is they say,
he's holding a
do you want to do?
He's holding a knife. You guys, he's holding a.
Do you want to do a Zemeckis
It's a butter
movie?
knife.
And then you say yes, and then they go, it doesn't pay much, and you have to say, I don't care. It's a Zemeckis movie. I want to work with Zemeckis. That's the thing with the big movies. No one gets paid anything.
The last movie I did, I was wearing black socks.
He was there one night, somebody came backstage and said, I represent Sid Caesar. He's looking for a straight man second banana. Mm-hmm. And I said, wow. He said, Sid might be interested in you. Would you like to meet him? No promises. I said, sure.
Yeah.
So the next day he picked me up and I went with him to Sid's house, Sid Caesar's house. We went and we sat down, and Sid came up to me and he said, tell me, where are you from? I said, well, I'm from New York. He said, do you come from New York? Do you know that there are a lot of Hispanic people in New York? And I caught on what he was doing. So I replied, I said, yes, I know New York very well. Very mucho Hispanic people there. My people are Hispanic, which they really aren't.
Yeah.
And he said, so he went on like this with the Spanish accent. After about a minute, he said, by the way, there's also Irish people there. And I used to sit there and pick it up. He said, well, I did the same thing. My folks had a diner. Mm-hmm. And he looked at his manager who was there. He says, book the man. Sign him up.
Wow.
And that's the reason. And I've told many young actors, don't just play yourself. Mm-hmm. Be able to play comedy, because I've done comedy. I've played heavies. In fact, my nom de plume is Crooks, Cops, and Comedy.
Yeah.
Someone gave me that title years ago because I played a lot of crooks, I played a lot of cops, I did a lot of comedy. Mm-hmm. The more versatile you are, not only as an actor, but even as a magician, you just don't do just one style of magic, do very various styles.
Mm-hmm. We're in an age right now with all the the electronics and YouTubes, and it seems like every 6 months something new comes on the market, and that here in the Hollywood area, there's so many talented people that were involved in special effects and in creating things, and now their jobs are wiped out because it's all done with computer-generated graphics, CGI, and so I hope the magician can stay ahead of the curve there